let me show you guys something here until we start getting some questions coming in. So hope everybody can see my channel. So it's got a lot of different things on here because obviously I look for YouTube stuff, and then jiu-jitsu because that's a passion of mine, one of my hobbies. But whatever your niche is, YouTube is the best place to get started doing your research. So let's say if it's jiu-jitsu, something I enjoy, I can type in BJJ, which is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and it's going to tell me all the different keywords. Why is it doing that? Oh, it's got this voice control thing on here. Stop listening to me. Okay, let's try that again. So if I type in BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, this is my keyword. I want to start coming up with video ideas. I can simply type in BJJ and it'll tell me all the best keywords that people are searching for. So people are searching for BJJ basics, BJJ gi, takedowns, tournament for beginners, submission versus wrestling, belt tie, all this stuff. So if I was brand new to YouTube and I wanted to start a channel on Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I could literally just start by making all these video ideas right here. And from each of these video ideas, these keywords, I could probably come up with 5 or 10 other titles. So you literally have well over 100 ideas just by using YouTube. Let me go. We got some questions coming in, so let me answer these questions. All right. I got to work on how to get this bigger. Oh, here we go. Okay. Hi there. How do you get over? First of all, Corey Spanish, welcome. Thank you. Hi there. How do you get over the feeling of imposter syndrome when starting out? It feels so awkward and weird. If that sounds right. Thanks, bro. First of all, I've been doing this 9 years and I still have that feeling, right? I still have the imposter syndrome. I still make a video and I'm like, oh my God, what was I saying? What was I thinking? What was I doing? But I put them up, right? I get them out there. And the only way you're going to get over that, first of all, everybody goes through it. It's real. You are definitely not the only one, is you just have to keep uploading. And you're going to make mistakes and you're going to look at your videos and you're going to do one of these. You're like, oh my God, but it will get better and better and better. Okay. You just got to stick with it. Repetition, like anything else, like lifting weights. You just got to keep doing it. At first, you're gonna be like, oh my God, this sucks. This is so hard. Who am I to lift weights? And then one day you're going to look in the mirror and you're like, oh my God, hey, I got some arms. Same thing with YouTube. You're going to keep making videos. And then one day you're going to make one. It's going to pop. You're going to watch it. You're like, oh my God, that was great. And then you want to see what you did well, and you want to keep doing that. So you'll always be learning, but great question. And yeah, it's one of those things that everybody goes through it, and you just kind of have to break through that barrier. And if you're starting a channel on something, and I'm assuming it's something you're interested in, something that you're passionate about, it doesn't have to be your life's work. I don't like to use the word passion, but there's a movie called Catch Me If You Can, which is a true story about I don't know if you call him a con artist or whatever, about a kid. I mean, he was in his 20s, I think, maybe even younger, who posed as a flight attendant, posed as a doctor, and even was a professor at a university. And one of the questions the FBI asked him when they arrested him was, how were you able to teach a university level class? Which was funny because they didn't say, how are you able to fly a plane or be a doctor? But they were like, how are you able to teach students in this, a high level class education? And he said, it's easy. I just read one chapter ahead. So as long as you are one chapter ahead in your niche, you don't have to be an expert. You have something to teach. You have something to share. Okay. And also a great way when just getting started, if you are really struggling with that imposter syndrome, is just letting people know, hey, I am brand new. I am learning whatever it is you're teaching or doing. And I want you guys to come along for the ride. So it's kind of a learn as you do type model. And you see that a lot. That's how I got started. I started by doing screen share videos of different software programs I would use. And I would just record my screen and I would just talk into the mic. I didn't even show myself on camera. And I would say, all right, today I'm going to show you how I set up my my email automations. Today, I'm going to show you how I make a website. Today, I'm going to show you how I use Canva. And I just went through it, and no script, nothing. And it was real. It was authentic. People knew that I was brand new, and they supported me. And then I got better at it, and I got more experience. And then I got into more deeper topics and so on. So just get started. Hi, I'd like to get info on starting a YouTube channel on geriatric caretaking. Interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of content right now for over 40, over 50 seniors, because you've got a lot of people retiring right now, and baby boomers retiring. And it's a huge population, and it is really a massive new market on YouTube. I don't know if you say new, but they're starting to use it more. So you're seeing a big rise in creators that age, and you're definitely seeing content, older content, geriatric content, seniors. Now, depending, I don't know the type of content you're doing. I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving medical advice or professional advice. I would just definitely look into the different rules and regulations depending on the type of content you're doing. Sometimes depending on what you're doing, what you're talking about, you have to have licensing, proper licensing and credentials in order to speak on those subjects. So definitely look into that. I'm sure Google has some great information on that. So I would definitely look into that, and also just get started by looking on YouTube and seeing what other channels are out there. Are there channels doing similar to what you want to do? That's a great sign that, hey, this is a good niche to get into. And that'll be a great starting point. And you can also look and see what type of people are running these channels. Are they doctors? Are they nurses? Are they therapists, practitioners, whatever? So depending on your credentials and so forth, just make sure you do your research, make sure you are, covered legally and all that kind of stuff before you start going live. But I think it's a great niche for sure. All right, Vasi, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. I have a very small channel, 102 subscribers. What's the fastest realistic path to monetization without waiting for AdSense or uploading for months for free? There's lots of different ways to monetize on YouTube. There's coaching, there's affiliate marketing, there's brand deals, there's memberships, there's sponsorships. There's so many different ways to do it. So depending on your channel, what type of content you're putting out there, you do need to, there are some settings on the back end of your YouTube studio. You do need to make sure that you're verified, your phone's verified. So you just can't put up links and start monetizing that way. And, all these methods are, I'm just giving you ideas. I can't guarantee that you're going to make money with these methods without knowing more about what it is, what you do. And even then I couldn't guarantee it. But I would look into the different ways. And again, like I said, for the last person, look at other channels in your niche. What are they doing? What kind of products and services are they selling? And see if those fit into what you do and what you could offer. But that's a great question. And, monetizing with AdSense should be, people get so focused on that. Like I gotta monetize. I gotta get AdSense. And you shouldn't be worrying about that as a small channel. You should just be worrying about creating really good, valuable content that solves problems. And if anything, start building your list, start getting emails right away. There's lots of great programs, MailChimp, and I think there's one called Kit that have some great options for beginners that you can use, and you can just have a simple link in your description, and people can join your email list, and you can send them a newsletter every single week. And then after you've built up a nice list and you have products and services that you want to sell, you can reach out to them through your email list. And you can do that before you have 1,000 subscribers or 4,000 hours of watch time. Okay. But great question. Yes, it feels exactly like you described. I made a bunch of videos elsewhere. What are your thoughts on leaving up videos that aren't exactly doing well, but you worked? Yeah, one thing I learned the hard way is you never delete videos. Always keep them up, unless it's not, you're completely switching niches, right? You're going from gardening to weightlifting or something. And even then, you don't want to delete them, but just mark them private. Okay. Because you don't want to lose the data that you don't want to lose the watch time and the hours, all that kind of stuff, and the view count that you've been feeding to YouTube. So if anything, if you really aren't happy with them, just mark them private. And yes, catch me if you can. Barry Allen scene for sure. I run a radio style show with social and spiritual topics. How do you turn clips from that kind of content into YouTube videos that are seen as educational rather than just storytelling? I run a radio style, social, spiritual topics. How do you turn clips? So you're saying you want to take clips from your recorded radio style show and churn that into YouTube videos? Is that what I'm understanding? Because a lot of people do like video podcasts where they record the podcast video and they might just put up the whole thing, or they record the video podcast and put up sections of it. And I'm assuming we're talking about long form. I don't do much in the way of YouTube shorts, but with long form, so that it's seen as educational rather than storytelling. Yeah. Also, a great tip is if you are doing these radio style recording with social spiritual topics, is before you go to record the radio style, you can outline what you're going to say. So each of those bullet points on your outline, if you have an interview and you're interviewing someone, you're asking questions, and this is the way I see a lot of people do it, is each section or series of questions would be considered, say, one video. And then you go on to the next set and so forth. So make sure you have an outline before going into this radio style show, so that when you do go back, it's easy to chunk it up into separate videos. I hope that makes sense. But if you're just doing a radio show or you're just shooting off the cuff, it's going to be hard to churn those into videos. So go in with a plan before you record those radio style videos, and it'll be easier for you to go back and cut those up into long form videos. But great question. How to set yourself apart when there are so many other people doing what you want to do. Yes, this is a big one. What's great right now, if you're just getting started on YouTube, is, I don't know if you've noticed this, and maybe you've seen it with my content, is I've shifted to really just raw, real, authentic content. I've been filming on my iPhone. Like, I'm in my studio right now, and I spent a lot of money on my lights, on my microphone. I've got a really nice DSL camera over here. I've got all this equipment, and I'm going back to the way I started 9 years ago, which is just using my phone, sitting on my couch, sitting in my kitchen, going for walks, sitting in my car, just really keeping it real and authentic. Now, before I record, I have an outline, something that I follow, or a basic script. So my message is still the same. I'm still providing value and solving problems. I'm just doing it in a more relaxed, real kind of way. And I'm getting to the answer to your question. And just by doing that, that's what's going to is going to help you set yourself apart from the other people in your niche. When I started, I started doing screen share software style videos. And then I made a video on like remote jobs one day, and that took off. So I kind of started going in that way for several years. And there were tons of other people doing what I was doing, people with a lot more subscribers and views and people with a lot less. But I'm the only Judd, right? I am 53 years old. I live in Chicago. I've got my own story and my own style. So even though we're all making similar style content, there are people that are going to watch this creator over here who might be 21, and then they're going to watch me over here who's 53 and is a family man. And even though we're talking about the same things, they gravitate towards me. So I don't know if this is the answer you wanted, because it's pretty simple, but it's just being yourself. Okay. But you got to make sure that you're solving real problems, because no gimmick, no AI, none of that stuff is going to make you stand out. You think it will, but it doesn't. It's all about the message, the problem that you're solving, and really just being authentic. And I think moving forward, you're going to see a lot more creators shifting over to that more authentic, real style. And you're seeing a lot less of this overproduced stuff going on. Mentioning that. I hope that helped. Yes. Thanks so much for your advice. Wish I'd known about privating the videos and discovering your channel sooner. Yes, much love. Thanks for your time, and have a great day. Hand pink waving. Awesome. Thank you so much. And yeah, I saw your other comments here too. No worry on the lag. I appreciate it. Good luck to you. The leader bucket, welcome. Hey, sir. Thanks for jumping on. And Vasia, I hope that answered your question. If it didn't, let me know. I was just looking back over it. I'm sorry I didn't address. You talked about seen as educational rather than storytelling. Without knowing your content, it's hard to say. Like if it's storytelling where you're just telling a story about World War II, it's a little different. So I would have to know what kind of content you're doing. If you could let me know, that might help me out a little bit. Living Success Strategy. What's up? Welcome. What do you suggest for a complete beginner like me, just starting and moving my outreach to YouTube? What do you mean by that exactly? Moving my outreach to YouTube. Living Success. But if you're a complete beginner getting going on YouTube, I was just sharing this with someone earlier, talking about how to set yourself apart. This is a great time to be on YouTube, because YouTube is really, really pushing the real authentic content. You see a lot of creators, especially creators my age, 50, 60, 70 and more. I coach a lot of people, and I have coaching clients right now that are in their 60s and 70s, and they're doing great. So and they're just recording themselves in their kitchens and their family rooms. It's all about the message, right? What you're saying, the problems that you're solving. So that's what's going to set you apart. And you are the brand, right? You are the brand. You are the brand. You are the business, whatever it is you're doing, whatever it is you're trying to accomplish on YouTube. And people are going to naturally gravitate toward you for your style, for your story. And you can have the exact same, and I used this analogy earlier, right? You and I could be in the exact same niche. Well, it's hard to tell. I don't want to get into asking anybody's age or anything like that, but just looking at you, well, first of all, it's like, okay, you're a female over here. I'm a male over here. Already there's going to be a divide of some people are going to want to watch you. Some people are going to want to watch me. There's that kind of natural gravitation, but then also it's the way we deliver our content, the style of content. People are going to relate to me, and they aren't going to relate to you. People are going to relate to you. They're not going to relate to me. And at the end of the day, it's all about solving problems, right? And helping people. That's really what it is. And people are earning more and more for that real authentic connection. They're done with the overhype, overproduced type content. Oh, I think you answered my question. Let's see here. Oh, okay. I thought you posted it again. So yeah, I would say Living Success Strategy, just get out there, just start recording. The more videos that you record, the more and upload, the more data you're going to send to YouTube. And the more data you can get to YouTube, the sooner you're going to know what's working and what's not working. So once you've uploaded 20, 30 videos and they've been up for a little bit of time and you've got some views, then you can go back and look at your analytics and you can be like, okay, these top 10 videos seem to be performing a lot better than the other ones. So what am I doing here, right? And you can analyze those videos and you're going to find that there's going to be a common, connection with all 10 of these. There's going to be a pattern going on. Maybe it's because of the subject matter. Maybe it's the location. I don't know. But you're gonna see that pattern start to take place. Like for me, I made a video on like remote jobs and work from home, and then after a couple weeks, I went back. I looked at my analytics, and it was like, wow. People are really interested in remote jobs, work from home. This is right after COVID. So I'm like, okay, YouTube is telling me people want more of this type of content. So I made more of that type of content. So so you have to just get the videos up there. And then you can go back and analyze and look and they'll tell you, right? The numbers don't lie. Got it. Okay. So Living Success was asking about outreach earlier, getting out on video. So right now, your business, you're not so happy. You're using FB and Insta. Was definitely love the authenticity and creating my own face. I'm 55 and sharing about shifting life. Good. From sacrifice to success. Yeah, that's awesome. And I'll say it again, YouTube is such a great place right now for creators over 50, over 60. You are seeing more and more channels. But not only that, these channels are getting lots of views. A lot of these retirement channels, second half of life type channels where people are just sitting in their backyard, sitting in their kitchen, and they're just sharing advice and wisdom. People are eating that up. They really, really enjoy it. And there's some really, really, there's a guy called, like Dry Creek Wrangler or something like that, who does some really, really great content. There's a guy named Azul, Azul, who does some great content. Who else is out there? But yeah, if you just you just type in the word retirement and you'll see tons of channels coming up. And what's great about it is, yes, there are a lot of people doing it, but each person, they're their own brand, right? They're their own style. And yeah, not happy with YouTube and Insta. I was never a big fan of either of those. I know you need to you can't rely just on one, but I would say definitely start looking into growing on YouTube and making your main focus YouTube. You can still post on those other platforms, but you'll be amazed at the reach you have on YouTube because you can do long form content like this and you can build that real connection with your audience and build that know, like, and trust, as opposed to just putting up a 60-second reel on Instagram or a little post. Yeah, maybe somebody likes it, maybe they heart it, maybe they comment. But when you're doing a 10, 20-minute video, you can go really, really deep into topics. And those people, right, if they enjoy it, they're going to watch it. And then they're going to watch another one. They're going to watch another one. If you have a live, they're going to join your live. If you have a community, they're going to join your community. So definitely check it out. How do you avoid someone stealing your content and using AI voice? I don't know how to avoid someone stealing it or using AI voice, but you can certainly, if you find that content, you can report it and file a copyright claim, and they can remove that content. Yes, thanks. How does the algorithm recognize a channel as educational and reward it with higher CPMs? That's a great question. I don't know so much if it's, yeah, I think it's really the keywords, and then it's going to be the audience, right? So you're going to have, it's going to be based on the keywords, type of content you're making. And then the audience that you're bringing in, right? Is this an older audience? Is the audience also watching similar type of content? What are they watching? I can't tell you definitively one way or another, but it really has to do with the type of niche that you're in. and certain niches have higher CPMs than others. What is your niche? Because you can also just go on YouTube or go on Google and type in top, highest CPMs by niches on YouTube, and it'll tell you all of it, and you can look and see there. Cynthia, thank you. You're welcome. Appreciate it. But also back to the ASEA is, I said before, don't get so hung up on the AdSense. Yes, it's great, and you want to get monetized. I get it, but just focus on getting out the valuable content, solving problems, and getting better. Right? If you're newer to YouTube, just get those videos out, get them up. Get that data into YouTube, analyze the data, scratch what's not working, make more of what's working, and all that stuff will come. Okay. Oh, I missed this one here. Okay, Dave, sorry, I didn't see that. Hi, Judd. I'm in the beginning stage of creating a YouTube channel. Do you suggest having 2 channels, one for my own general use and the second channel only for YouTube content creation? By general use, do you mean like for friends and family? I mean, you can have your personal channel, and then if you have a channel where you're trying to grow a brand or a business, it should definitely be separate. You wouldn't mix the business with the pleasure, for sure. But I definitely wouldn't start 2 channels. Like I'm going to start one channel. I'm going to talk about health and fitness. I'm going to start another channel and I'm going to talk about retirement. Do you see what I mean? Because you're what is the old saying? He who chases 2 rabbits catches none. So I'm not sure if that's what you meant, but definitely if you're looking at building a brand or a business, just one channel, focus all on that and go hard on that. And if you want, you can certainly have a separate YouTube channel just for uploading friends and family stuff. That's fine. But no, I would not combine them. See, you have some great videos for us beginners. We'll dive in. Awesome. Thank you so much. Simple tools for ideas, titles, and content structure. Well, I really only, as far as is using AI for titles and scripts, I use Claude, CLAUDE.ai, and then I use ChatGPT. I use them both, but I use Claude mainly for like scripts and outlines and things like that. And then I'll maybe run something through Claude and then run it also through ChatGPT just to see what each of them gives me. But ChatGPT is great for titles because you can put your title in and you can say, ChatGPT, give me 5 to 10 variations of this title, and it'll give you a bunch of different ideas that you can use. And as far as keywords, I use vidIQ, and I've been using that ever since I started. It's the best, I think. Yeah. That's what I would do. Is remote work dead? Meaning people working remotely? Not that I know of. Is that what you mean exactly? Or something else? Let me know. I'm working remotely right now. feedback. Looking forward to following your work. Awesome. Yes, thank you. What brings in followers? More videos. More videos. I know everybody's looking for like the secret sauce, the AI tool. You got to make more videos. That's all there is to it. It feels like a beautiful place to create connection and go deep with the audience. Thank you. Stay awesome. Yes, thank you. And yes, it is a great, great place to build connection, build a community, whatever it is you want to do. I'm looking at sharing about 3 topics: my coaching business for women over 50, my art, and my books. One channel. Yeah. Yes. One channel. What I mean by one rabbit, 2 rabbits is, so if I look at this, right, my coaching business for women over 50, what is the coaching business exactly? And then art, and then books. So those are kind of 3 different niches if I were to look at it. It doesn't mean you can't tie the interest into art and books, but what is the coaching about exactly? You just want to make sure you don't veer too far off. What type of coaching is it that you're doing for women? Is it better to start with shorts or long form YouTube videos when starting off? I would just do long form personally. Live painting. So you teach women over 40 how to paint? If that's a great niche, if that's what you're doing, teaching people how to, people love that. And a lot of the people I see who are doing painting on YouTube also have like communities. So they do, they make tons of videos teaching people how to paint. And then if people want to learn more from you, they can join a private community and you can teach painting classes, which is really cool. Hi, Judd. At 62, I'm interested in trying to start a channel, but I am very green and only have an Android phone, trying to learn about AI, but it's a slow process for me. Any suggestions? Thanks. Yeah, I mean, if you were on earlier, I was talking about how just YouTube is so great for creators our age, people over 40, over 50. I mean, there's lots of creators right now who are just crushing it on YouTube, just talking about their life experience. Okay. Some are retired, some are doing jobs in retirement, some are traveling, all different types of things. And they're just sharing, what they've learned in retirement. They're sharing, maybe tips and tricks from their life, maybe in business or just in life in general and family. So you can literally start by just using your phone as your camera. You don't need to worry about AI and all the crazy equipment. It would help to have some direction going into it, right? Having some sort of idea of what it is you want to talk about. It doesn't have to be very specific niche. You don't have to like niche down granular, but have an idea of the general topics and just start recording. And then over time, it'll start to come together. One of my fellow YouTubers. What's up, man? Elevate to the unknown. How have you been? I saw you on there. Loving the rebrand, Judd. Stay safe out there on these YouTube streets. You too, my friend. Appreciate it. How do these people get away with taking everybody's content and displaying it like their own? What do you mean exactly? Let me know. What should I do to get more views on YouTube? Great question. I get this question all the time. There's lots of different things to do. Obviously, you got to keep uploading more videos, and you need to look at your analytics and see what's working, what's not working, because what you might think is going to perform well on YouTube versus what your audience wants are two different things. And YouTube will tell you, the analytics will tell you what videos are performing well. So scratch the ones that aren't, focus on those. And then, your thumbnail, your title, your intro, those all have to be, you want to make sure that your title leads into your thumbnail leads into your title, which leads into your intro. So you have to have a strategy, you have to have a plan in doing that. And when you do that and you continuously do that and upload, you will see your views start to go up. I also just posted a video the other day on how to get more views for small channels. Definitely check that out. Okay, so my coaching is about redefining life, going from always having prioritized the needs of others, now taking time back and love back to oneself. Okay, yeah, very cool. So if like the creativity, assuming that's what you're saying, if the creativity, the art, and the books kind of tie into that, awesome. Yeah, I think that's great. And, do some research. Like I said earlier, do some research on YouTube and see if there's other channels doing similar to what you're doing, only because it gives you a good idea of like proof of concept and shows you that there are people interested in it. Definitely check that out. But I think that's great. And yeah, people are really looking for that real authentic content, and that over 50 crowd, I think you do great for sure. All right, guys, any more questions? I got about 10 more minutes. Got to get off here at 1 o'clock CST, so 2 o'clock Eastern, to jump on a call. So any more questions, please let me know. Happy to help. Great live. Thank you. Yeah, the first one. So working out the kinks. Appreciate it. And we'll definitely do it again soon. And then once I can kind of nail down the perfect day and time that I think works for everybody, Today I just happen to have some time free between 12 and 1. And then once I have a good idea of what works with my schedule and what's best for you guys, I'm going to have a set time every week is what I plan on doing. Because I do enjoy doing this, and there's lots of questions. It helps you guys, and it helps me, right? It helps me grow my channel and come up with ideas that I can make deeper, that I can make more videos about with deeper content, dive into it more. So that's great, because I'm seeing a lot of the same things kind of pop up, right? Which is really just more views, getting monetized, things like that. So it gives me a lot of great ideas for content I can make for you guys as well. I still have the remote job I got almost 4 years ago after watching one of your videos, and you have remained relevant for resources as I transition to other goals. Thank you. Wow, Breeze. You made my day. Heck, you made my year so far. I appreciate it. Yeah, I love it. I get these every once in a while. I've even gotten phone calls. I don't know how people find my number. I get emails. So it's really great to hear that. And I have been transitioning over the past few months. It's been something I've been wanting to do more and more, is really just focus on YouTube and helping people. And for me, now that I'm getting older, a lot of people, I'm getting a lot of comments from people my age asking how I do it. So I'm excited to kind of really focus on helping people with YouTube and grow their YouTube channels, start YouTube channels, because I think it's just an amazing, amazing place to be. But I'm so happy for you. Thank you. That's wonderful. Keep it up. That's awesome. All right, everybody, a couple more minutes. So if you have questions, get them in now. And then otherwise I'll be hanging up here. And like I mentioned earlier, I will be back once I figure out the best day and time to start doing this. And then once we kind of nail that down, I plan on doing this every week. How do you monetize without selling a product, but instead selling trust? What does that mean exactly? Let me know. I'm not sure. That's a new one for me. If you had to boil it down to one main thing, what's the most impactful thing I should master to build a successful channel? Love it. Well, one thing I say all the time is, and this is something I've learned from my coaches, is it starts, with the idea for the video, and you have to do your research, right? You have to see what other creators in your niche are doing. If you're starting a YouTube channel, maybe you have an idea or you have a niche, you want to do your research first and see, are there other channels out there doing what I want to do? And a lot of people think that's copying. I'm not telling anybody to copy ever, but you want to see that there's a need for it. People want this type of content. There are problems out there that people want solved. That's a great sign. If you go and you type in whatever your niche is, underwater basket weaving, and there's no channels on that, then you need to rethink your niche. So once you know exactly what it is you want to do, and then you can start researching and coming up with video ideas. And then after that, really the most important thing and the only thing you should be focusing on is uploading videos. Just get your videos up there. Use your phone, get your videos up there. You don't need to buy a camera, lights. The only thing I ever tell people that if they want to get any gear is to get a decent microphone, and you can get decent microphones on Amazon. I have like a little lapel mic that I use on Amazon. It's called a Holly Lark, and those are really good, and they're great for beginners too. It's a real simple one, but that's it, right? The audio is more important than the video. So if you have a decent phone with good camera, I mean, in new cameras right now, if you're an iPhone user, the cameras on the iPhone are just as good as some of these really expensive DSLRs. It's crazy. So yeah, master, make sure that you have the niche nailed down, that there are videos being made. There's a need and interest for that topic. And then really mastering, when it comes to mastering, is uploading videos, because that's how you're going to get better at your craft. Speaking on camera, learning how to, if you're using a script or using bullet points, I recommend in the beginning, just have like some bullet points off to the side. Mastering your intros, right? Making sure that your intros are keeping people's attention, right? Because the most important thing on YouTube is the watch time, and you got to grab them within the first 15, 30 seconds. So just work on getting better at your craft, which is speaking on camera. That's it. And you'll do it. And the more videos you upload, the more data you're going to give to YouTube, and they're going to come, and that data is going to come back, and you're going to look at it, and you'll be able to see these videos are performing well. I'm going to make more videos like this. These videos are not performing well. I'm not going to make videos like this. You see what I mean? And you just get better and better and better. So yeah, just get comfortable on camera, and the rest will come into place. Don't get hung up on all the gear and AI and all that stuff. Just focus on solving problems, delivering value. Okay. Oh, okay, Dave. In regards to my previous question about 2 channels, is it okay to subscribe and comment to other channels with my channel I will be using for content creation? Yeah, so that's a great question. So what I was told when it comes to this is you want to have, it's good to have one channel that's strictly for research. And maybe I'm getting ahead of myself here, but a lot of people I know have, a lot of creators, they have a channel. It's not their personal channel, and it's not their main channel. It's just strictly for research. So, and the reason that they do this is because I don't do this. I just use I don't know if it's right, but I just use my own channel to do my research. But they have a separate channel for research, because that way every video recommended is going to be related to the research niche that they're doing. Does that make sense? So they're not looking up recipes one day, weight loss the other day, or they're not looking at like a funny video a friend sent them. It's only keywords related to their niche. So I think that's kind of what you're saying, because if you're on your main channel and your main channel is jiu-jitsu, but then you also are looking at cooking channels and commenting on cooking channels, and maybe it's a dating channel or a lifestyle or whatever, you're commenting, it kind of puts you all over the place. Does that make sense? So I think if you're going to comment on a bunch of different things, then use your personal channel to do that. For your main channel, I would stay in your lane, but it is good to comment on other people in your niche. When I first got started, every day I would go to my competitors' videos. I don't really think of them as competitors, but That's the only word I could think of. And I would watch their videos and I would comment, like real comments. Hey man, this was awesome. Great content. I love how you talked about this, this, and this. And that was really helpful. So I would definitely do that. Is that what you mean? I hope so. I hope that made sense. But yeah, you could consider having a completely separate channel that's just research. My channel, I get a mix of jujitsu stuff, stuff my wife sends me, which I shouldn't be opening it on YouTube because it really screws up the algorithm. But for the most part, it's related to my niche. It's a lot of YouTube stuff that I get. Kadena, you're like a mind reader. Perfect video. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for the feedback. You're welcome. My pleasure. I love doing this. We can always refer to anyone that inspired to. Yes, I think for me to just shoot a video with my phone anywhere, anyhow, will be a huge win for me and overcoming ridiculously big avoidance. Yeah, it's so funny. Like everybody wants, and I was the same way. I wanted, and I bought so many cameras over the years, so many lights, so many microphones. Like you can't see, but on the other side of this camera, I'm in my studio in the basement. And on the other side of my camera here, I have a closet. And my wife has been telling me for years to clean it out, but I just can't let go. It is just full of gear. I've got cameras, lights, tripods, microphones, gadgets, you name it. And now I'm making videos and all I use is my iPhone. That's it. I do some stuff here in my studio, but I've gone back to just that real authentic. And it's so much easier now to make videos because you can just pop up your camera and start talking. And it helps to, obviously you want to have like a decent lapel mic, which you can pick those up pretty easily on Amazon. Cause the audio is more important and you know, pay attention to your lighting, like try and not have the window behind you, have the window in front of you. So do what you can to make it as nice as possible. But you could literally just set up your camera and just start talking and recording. And you only have to do very minimal edits to the video if you're following a structure or an outline. So like I have a video I made today, it's about 11 minutes and you know, I'll go through and cut out some ums and ahs and things like that, and it'll be ready to go. That's it. So yeah, just hit record, start uploading. Help me, I lost my channels. Yeah, sorry. I wish I could help you, but I would, you'd have to reach out to support. Andy, thank you. Yes. Purple Tube, well, hello. Purple Tube, thank you. What is your channel? I think the channel that she has is called Living, here, I'll pop it up. Living Success Strategy 1497. Someone was asking about your channel. Elevate to the unknown. You sound like me. LOL. So much gear that I need to sell but can't get away from. I know, isn't it crazy? I can't get rid of it. Even behind me here, I've got, like this was the first camera I ever had, which is one of those Canon Rebels or something. But I keep it, maybe because I think it looks cool. I don't know. And I've got all like these kind of things, little gadgets and connectors. It's silly. Lights, neon lights, all this stuff. Because, you know, somebody was talking before about imposter syndrome. And it doesn't matter if you've been on YouTube for a day, a month, a year, or 9 years like me. You're always seeing something like, huh, what did he do in that video? Where did he get that cool light? And I have to like kind of stop myself and say, that doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. And I was obsessed with that stuff. I got to get the light. You know, I repainted my studio probably 3 times in the past few years because I was like, ooh, I'm going to do a dark color. I'm going to do white. I'm going to do gray. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's crazy. Just record, right? Living Success Strategy. Cool. Jimmy, good. You got it. Yeah, it's really crazy. You know, and it keeps so many people from starting starting channels, starting businesses, starting anything is because they think they need to have this, or they think they need to live in a certain location, or they have to lose a certain amount of weight, or they have to gain weight, or whatever it is. And it's like, no, you just have to, you have to do it. You just have to start. You just have to go. It doesn't matter if your computer's 10 years old or brand new. It doesn't matter if your camera's old or brand new. It really doesn't matter. I've talked to people who are like, they want to get started, like they want to get started on a YouTube channel. They're like, well, I'm going to wait to get started when I have when I have enough money to buy my new MacBook computer. I was like, why? Like, well, because I want to make sure I have a good computer. I was like, yeah, but you can just upload you can take your videos from your phone, whatever computer you have, and you can just upload them. Yeah, but I got to have a really good computer. I'm like, no, you don't. You record it on your phone. Yes, it's easier to have probably a newer, faster computer to edit and do stuff. But that will come. You got to start somewhere. If you keep putting it off, you're just never going to do it. Yeah, you got to act. You just got to go. All right, everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much. I got a boogie. I'm actually about to jump on a call here, which I'm a few minutes late now that I look at the time. So I got a boogie. All right, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Good to see some old friends on here as well. Perfect answer. Exactly what I meant. Yeah, Dave, I appreciate it. Thank you. Sometimes I can go off on these tangents, and what I think up here and what I say are two different things. So I hope that made sense. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Thank you for the information. Look forward to next week. Yes. Take care, everyone. Be safe. Talk to you soon.